Every PD that I do is recorded and posted on the YouTube site. Currently there's 114 videos on there, and there'll be 150 by the end of the year. If you send me an email and say, how do I do this? I might come to your room. I might send you a link to a video that's already there, or I might make a new video on how to do it and post it and link it to you, okay? If you're looking on how to do something, the easiest way to find our PD is when you Google, put in where the subject is, like first class, the word YouTube, and the word NTLS Tech. And it will take you to the NTLS Tech YouTube videos, and that's what's going to show up first on that subject. And if I don't have one, it's just going to show the NTLS Tech YouTube site. That's the easiest way. With 114 videos there, it's not necessarily user-friendly to find the one that you want, but if you put in first class YouTube NTLS Tech into Google, you will find the first class videos that I've posted, okay? We also do a Tech Skills in-service in March. That's the whole day. It's taught by a huge variety of teachers here. We usually bring in outside people as well. And what that is, you're going to have a calendar and 3 to 4 periods, and you get to choose from the 10 available classes, what do I want to learn? And you go from class to class. And so we do that because we're pretty big on our tech skills stuff here. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about our web presence, how you get tech help, a little bit about passwords here at National Trail to try to simplify it, a little bit about the PC, somewhere about our network drives, Moodle, email, and Dazzle. And these are basic intros. All of these I could spend an hour on easily. And when you're given an hour to go over stuff that we've been teaching for years, I can't do that. I can only give you guys a basic introduction. So our web presence, we have a bunch of basic websites, okay? Our school website is actually www.nationaltrail.k12.oh.us. But if you put in www.nationaltrail.us, it will take you there. That's a mouthful. So what I did is I made shortcuts to them all, and these work everywhere. So if you want to go to the website, you start nationaltrail.us with www. If you want to go to our Moodle site, which is where our courseware, grade book, everything that we post related to courses are, you'd put Moodle in the front. If you want to go to our library site, you put the word library in the front. So if you want to see what books are available, students can do library searches, you can advanced check out stuff, you can check, see when they're due, all that stuff. We have our own library server. If you want tech support, it's support.nationaltrail.us. And if you want to get to our mobile network site, it's mobile.nationaltrail.us. Okay, so those are the 5 biggest ones, and I don't know if it'll work if I click on it from here or not, or if I'm just going to go to another page. And I'll show you the basics of these sites. So that the National Trail one, everybody here will get a page. I don't maintain that. The graphics art / web class does. Not sure why we're not opening. Right now, nobody's got a page on there yet. The graphics art class on the website will generally set up a shell for you, and then you guys can put in whatever you want. That's information really on the school website to let parents know about you. I graduated from Miami University in 2000 whatever, and I did my student teaching wherever. I would avoid putting, I've been doing it for X many years, because then you got to remember to go in every single year and change that. If you say I've been doing it since 2003, then I don't need to update it all the time, right? Not sure why I'm not opening Firefox here. Well, anyway, here's the school websites where the sports are, the clubs are, general school announcements, handbooks, classroom lists for the elementary school, that kind of stuff, okay? And everybody in there has a staff site, so if you wanted to find out about Diane Alexander, we'll see whether the site is up or not. There's just a picture of Diane and maybe some basic information, and that's it. It's not something you have to do tons of stuff on. Most of us have very little on our school website other than maybe contact information. Some teachers you'll see links to their Moodle sites on there as well. Not what I was trying to. And then our Moodle site, let's see if this one works. Why we're not just pop over here. I'll I'll just go to the Moodle side. Moodle side is actually where all of our class and course information is stored at. Gosh, I think it's 4 or 5 years ago now. We didn't do Progress Book. If you guys know anything about Progress Book, it's where a lot of schools pay $5 per kid per year forever to be able to post grades. This is a open source one that we modified internally to do everything that we want it to do. And that's where all of our grade books and all of our course content is posted. For the elementary school, I will say that the elementary school is still really on baby steps of Moodle. They have to use it for their grade cards because that's where the report cards come from. But the elementary school teachers have not gotten into posting as much as they could. You could put your weekly spelling list there and newsletters and that kind of stuff, and it's really, really easy. But I won't say that there is a Moodle expert over there because no one's really done more. I haven't seen, maybe there is and I don't know, more than just using it for their grades to do their indicator tracking. However, in the high school and the middle school, we're required in the high school to have all of our learning targets on there, and this is my class, and the only reason I'm going to my class is because I know it's on my class. Trying to get myself to a student role to show what students see. So when students come in, they can see my course syllabus, they can see the indicators, they know my class rules, they know my policies, all that stuff is over on one side, and then my content for my class is down the middle. So as we go through my course content and go to each chapter, everything that I do is there. Also, I do what I'm doing right now. I record every single one of my classes, and all my class lectures are also posted on my calendar. So if you went back to previous, I'm get it back to the school year, and we went on a calendar date, it would show actual YouTube embedded in my calendar of what we did in class that day. So if a kid missed the class, they can just watch the video and make up the class. And some teachers are doing this, the recording to record example problems and stuff. So if I'm a math teacher and I'm doing first block, I do one set of problems, and then second block I might do a different set of problems, and third block I might do a different set of problems. So if you've got a student having a problem with a subject, they don't just see what you taught, they now get 3 times the amount of instruction if they want to go to another section. It's just now opening the web page that I clicked on forever ago. What is it doing? So that's Moodle, and there's a ton of instructional videos on the YouTube site on Moodle. They're all really short. Now, there might be a really long one like this. It's 45 minutes long that we did in a PD session, but all the how do you do this are less than 5 minutes. It doesn't require any coding. If I was on, I'm not calibrated, which is why I'm so far off. I'm going to go use my mouse. This one is a really, really old smartboard, so it doesn't save the calibration well for some reason. But if I go to my class and I want to do something, all I do, I'm going to give you a really short and sweet here, is turn editing on, and then it has a bunch of drop downs, and then to add something, I want to add a online text, and then it's just, I type in what the name of it is, it gives me a block, how many points it's worth, and I hit save. I mean, it's really, really simple. So that's what Moodle is. The library site's just that. It's an index of all of our books, and you can do a search for what books we have. The support site is how you get tech support from me. So if you have something that's broken in your class, that's where you go to get that. And mobile access is how you get to your network drives from anywhere. You can go from a phone, a tablet, from home. It makes it really, really easy to get places. That's the tech request site. If you go to log on to it, it's your Gmail and then your school password, or so I put bpool@nationaltrail.us, and then whatever my school password is, that's what the username and password are here. And then it just lets you put in what's my problem, and you hit save. Now, this is specifically for I've got problems in my classroom that aren't on fire urgent. Okay, on fire urgent is your teacher's stuff. Student stuff is not on fire urgent. It may seem on fire urgent to you, but there's 750 PCs in the district, 1,200 students. Everybody's student stuff can't be on fire. Okay, so if your projector ball blows and you're doing a class, if your computer just blue screened and shut down and you're doing a class, that's on fire urgent if all your stuff is online. That is, call my room, tell me what happened. I have spare PCs, I can run down, and I will literally run down within 5 to 10 minutes and get you a bulb or get you a new PC. That's on fire urgent. That's call me, call the high school office, they'll find me, they'll page me, whatever. That's right away, and that's why my cell phone number is right on there, realizing that my cell phone usually doesn't work inside the school, so that's, even though I put it on there, it doesn't work all the time. Okay, but anything else, any student item, my student PCs don't work, I've got a broken mouse, that kind of stuff, you put in here. Okay, if you catch me in the hallway and say, hey, my mouse doesn't work, can I get a new one? I'm gonna say, yeah, I'll get you one right away, put it in the help system. When I said put it in the help system, I was serious, because by the time I come back to my room, I've already forgotten you talked to me. I'm not being mean when I say that, because if you talk to me in the hall, so did 5 other people, and I've forgotten every single one of them. I come back to my room and sit down and go, why did I just come back here? I don't even remember. I put in my own help request, or don't I, Garrett? Yeah. To remind myself of what I'm doing right now. Because, first of all, this is an ADHD job. There's so many things going on at one time that I can't keep them all in my head. So if you don't do this, don't expect me to come to your room. Okay? It doesn't go away until I close it, and I don't close it. It's on my phone, it's on my email, I get a text message. I mean, when you put it in here and hit save, I will know that you need help, okay? And if you log in and click open request, you'll be able to see any requests that you've already put in and any notes I've made, like we don't have a new Mimeo pin for you, we will get one right away, I've got one on order, whatever, okay? So that's what open request is for. So that's the help system. Okay, are we fixed? Not fixed?
GP update.
You have to GP update all of them?
Done.
Okay.
Just walk.
Yeah, that would be great if you get them GP update. Make sure Mr. Runyon can log on, and he'll be our test. Yeah.
And that was the support?
Yeah, support.nationaltrail.us. And you have a link on your teacher desktop right there that says make tech request. I made a link on every teacher's desktop, so you don't have to go and find it. You just go book, it'll come right to that page. And actually, once you've logged on your computer, it'll never even ask you to log on again. It'll go right into the help request. So you only have to log in once and remember. Okay? So, passwords and usernames. We have a bunch here at Trail. I can't control them all. I can control some of them. Okay? So, to log on at NTPCs, you're going to have a username and a password. Your username is going to be first initial, last name. Most of the systems we have, that is your username. Okay? Not all, but most of them. Whenever I set up a password or reset your password, I always set it as Blazer and your initials. So your initial password, if you say, can you reset my password, it's going to be Blazer, in my case BP, and it's going to force you to password change as soon as you log on. Okay? That's always the initial one. If you ask me to change it, try that, okay? Our login at NT is for the PCs and for Moodle. You don't have to set a Moodle password. Your Moodle password is your PC password. If you change your PC password, you just change your Moodle password. And your, I shouldn't say just Moodle, that changes your Moodle password and your web password for the web page, which is actually also Moodle, but anyway, just doesn't say Moodle at the top. So these are the ones that I have control over that I can reset easily, okay? And if you don't know how to reset your password, anytime you want to change it, you just log on and hit Control Alternate Delete, and one of the buttons says Change Password, okay? You can change it anytime you want to. My password policy, because this is the only one that I set, is very low. It's 4 characters, okay? If it's not 4 characters, you can't put it in. However, there are other ones that are higher, and I really think when you set a password, you should set one and make them all the same. It'll make your life easier if you only have one password at Trail to remember, okay? So Gmail is the most restrictive. It's 8 characters. So if you don't have 8 characters, I would have 8 characters. First class requires a number. So if one of your 8 characters in Gmail is a number, you can use the same one for everything. Okay, so that's what I would do, 8 characters with at least one number in it, and you're safe. Okay, so Gmail, your Gmail username is your NTLS username, so it'd be bpool@nationaltrail.us. You can get to it from any Google logon. Okay, so if you Google Gmail and it says what's your username and password, your username is, mine would be bpool@nationaltrail.us, and then your initial password again is Blazer, my case BP, and it will ask you to set it because these don't sync. I have control in that I can reset your password on Gmail. If you lose your Gmail password, you can't reset it. You have to call me or email me and say, please reset my password, and I will reset it to Blazer, 2 initials, and force a password change. So this one, if you make it Google or Gmail compliant, then you've got that one set. First class uses the same thing. It initial logon is bpool and bpool. It will make you change your password immediately because it requires a number. So it's going to force the number. So that's kind of why I would try to make them all the same. Okay. The last one is Dazzle. It's got a screwy username. Doesn't match any of these. We have no control over Dazzle. So I'm gonna show you the different logons, kind of. Oh wait, I guess I'm not. So Dazzle, your username and password is going to be, like my username at Dazzle is NTHS_BP. It's always your school underscore your initials, unless someone here already has your initials, in which case they had to give you something else. Susan Hora is in charge of that. So she has to set up, so are none of the students going to be able to log on with that? Or it's just because they have the local administrator account access that was blocking them from getting on? That could be.
I added H teachers, E teachers, and
Okay. Okay, good. Okay, so those are our 4 different accounts, and unfortunately all 4 of them initially aren't the same, and then the best thing you could do is to make them the same. Okay, our PCs, we're a PC district, we're not a Mac district. If you're a Mac person, we'll try to be as nice as we can to you, but we have all PCs. All the teacher PCs were just upgraded this spring. They're all quad core, solid state drives, and 4 gig RAM. And if you're not a PC person, it's really nice. They're really nice PCs. When you turn yours on, you're not going to wait longer than 45 seconds to be on the PC. Worst case, we also have them all set up to turn on for you in the morning. So if yours isn't on when you come in, then somebody missed something. Because all the ones in the elementary school should turn on at 8:10, and the high school and the middle school, I think 7:10 is what we set. If you come in earlier than that, you have to turn on yourself, but it doesn't take that long. Okay? So if it's on when you come in, don't think I left it on all night, because you didn't. They shut down automatically and they turn on automatically. They're not on all night. Okay? And this is it. I already had Garrett go around and hook up, make sure all your PCs are hooked up today. So not really a big factor for you, but just so you know, in the summertime when maintenance is doing their stuff, they unhook everything. And if you want it to work day 1, you've got to hook it back up yourself. Okay? Because I can't run around and hook up 750 PCs. They had 20 people unhook them, and it's just me and Garrett doing a bunch of stuff. So there's a video on how to connect PCs and how to do the display settings. I think I posted the one video. But the idea is try, and then if you can't figure it out, call me and I'll come down and do it. This is what the PCs look like. They have DVDs up top, so you can play DVDs on your projector if you need to. They've got card readers in the front, mic and headphone plugs in the front, USB in the front. They've got 6 more USBs in the back. The green one is your plug for your sound. I think I've got, there we go. So if you're hooking them up yourself, the video both has to go down here on this one. You can't plug it in the video here. And then you put your network in there, your USBs and your sound there, and always plug in your power last. I just had that in case we didn't get a chance to do it, but we already did it.
So
yeah.
question?
Yes.
I already ordered a that'll work with PC or with my
Okay.
the
adapter?
a Bluetooth. Are those Bluetooth enabled as well?
There is no Bluetooth.
So I just need to get a USB
Bluetooth
thingy.
adapter. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Which on eBay probably $6.
Yeah.
So it would not be very expensive. So. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. And then if you had PS2 stuff, which I don't think any teachers do anymore, the mouse goes in the green and the keyboard goes in the purple plug, and I guess I have that up there just in case you're hooking up a student PC. Any questions on PCs? Is anybody here not PC person that, oh my gosh, I have to use a right mouse click? I'm sorry, I'm making fun of Max. Okay, so network drives. Every teacher has what's called a T drive under your computer button, okay? The T drive is your network folder that only you have access to, that gets backed up every single week and archived every single week for the last 3 weeks. If you keep everything on the local hard drive and the local hard drive dies, sorry, okay? Had an elementary school principal, Mr. Lees, that did not listen to my warning on that. His hard drive died and he lost everything they had for the elementary school principal for years because he moved it all off the network drive to his drive and then his drive died. So if you keep your stuff on your T drive, it will be relatively safe. And I say relatively because if you delete it and then 3 months later ask me for it, I don't have it. I have last Friday, the Friday before that, the Friday before that, the Friday before that, the Friday before that. After that, the files get rotated and I can't have backups of everything from all time. I do, however, back them up in the summer now after Mr. Lee's deleted lost all his stuff. So I also have a summer backup of everything that was on the T drives in July. So if you're like, I had that 3 years ago, I might actually have it. Okay? So I encourage you to do that. It also lets you be mobile. If you go to the teacher center and log onto a PC, hey, there's all my documents. Okay? You don't have to keep them on there. I just want you to know that that's the only thing that's backed up. Also, the solid state drives are only 60 gig, so if you have too much stuff, you may not be able to fit it all in your solid state drive. Although if you put 60 gig on the network, I'm going to end up installing another drive because you're clogging up my network, because that's a lot of stuff. All the T drives are also accessible from anywhere by going to mobile.nationaltrail.us. If you go to that website, you will see your T drive. You'll be able to download, send it to Google Docs, upload to it. So if you've got a PC at home and you want to download your stuff that you're working on and then re-upload it, you can get to it. There's an Android app, there's an iPhone app. The app, I should put it on here, is called HTTP Commander that allows you to go, I don't have my Android phone, it's over there. If I go to there, I see my T drive and I go, boom, make it a Google Doc, and I hit a button, and then all of a sudden my Excel spreadsheet's on my phone on Google Docs. So we added that a couple of years ago. That's usable by all students and all staff. They only see their own network drive. However, there's a third grade share. Are you the one who goes third grade? They have a share that they all share stuff on. They also see their third grade share from that folder too. And if you guys want to share across a grade level like they do, I can make a grade level share that you guys can all see and dump stuff in if you're sharing stuff as well. So that's our network drives. You may see some other ones too, but the T drive is the one that's yours. And it'll say T:, actually I think I might have a picture. Okay, I got a picture. So mine shows my username on Trail 2 and it ends with T. And that's my drive. And anything I put there I know is backed up at least once a week. And this is what the web folder looks like. If I go there, this is actually fictional because I have way more stuff than this, but if I was to go to mobile.nationaltrail.us, it redirects to this whole address up here, but then you would see your T drive and any contents then in your T drive. Okay, so I already kind of said this. Moodle is our online presence. It's our online gradebook for all classes. It's used to post resources, spelling lists, calendar events, reading handouts. Anything that you have that's a file can be put on Moodle. Realize that just because you have it as file doesn't mean they have the program to read it. A lot of teachers mistakenly post Word documents. Not everybody has Microsoft Word. It's better to save it as a PDF and upload that because everybody can get Reader for free. It's much more user-friendly. Some teachers will post, they'll have a program like, what's the one? Print Shop. really cool print shop document that they do, and they upload the print shop file, and nobody, including me, can click on that and see what it is because I don't have print shop.
Do we have the capability to set up PDFs where we can put in fields, like for something that the students are doing, so they can like
Yes.
type it in and save it?
Okay, so everybody's got an Adobe Reader. We have, in the high school, with our grant money that we had, we bought copies of Adobe Acrobat as well.
Okay. Is that
Adobe
already on ours?
Acrobat, we have to install it on yours. It's not installed on everybody's because we don't have unlimited copies. However, we could install it, and it will let you do fields that you can fill in and stuff. I haven't done that. So when you ask me how do you do this with Adobe Acrobat, you're going to need to ask Google or the F1 help key, and then we'll make you a teacher on it. You'll teach everybody else later.
Okay.
But yes, it does. So.
That's what weird, you had emailed me last week.
Right, we just need to install it. And I already forgot about it because it's not in the help desk.
So I should email you if I want that installed.
You want to put it on it as a tech request.
Tech request.
Yes,
right.
yes. Because
Okay.
I literally get hundreds of emails a day. Vendors send me crap all the time, and it will get lost in email. But it can't get lost in help request because nobody else can put that in other than staff. Students
Right.
can't put in help requests either. It does a myriad of other things, and I could show you tons and tons of things Moodle does. I do all my, especially for high school, do all my quizzes, all my tests online, all my assignments. I'm totally paperless. Everything can be submitted and done on Moodle. Even if you have them do PowerPoint, when they're done with the PowerPoint, they upload it into Moodle, and when I'm on Moodle, I can go and click and see how far they're done on their PowerPoint as they're working on it and stuff. So it does a ton of things.
So
And
so if you have stuff kids are working on in your class, do you have some sort of folder or something set up for that class?
No.
Where they save their stuff, or you
No,
just go on?
the assignment's
Do you
there.
just go to their T drive, or
No.
wherever
The
they're
assignment's in
saving it?
Moodle. So like, I'll show you an example. I'm gonna open it up. Okay, so let me change so you can see everything here. There isn't one in the first thing, so I have to make it so I can. Oh, I can't. So this is my hardware class, and I'm going to go down to chapter 4 because I think that's our first PowerPoint. Okay, so here's the PowerPoint project that a student would click on. Okay, so I don't do handouts either. All the assignment is on Moodle as well. So when they go to an assignment, everything that I went over is right here for them to see what, and I actually show them the thing while I'm going over it on the projector. So it's not like I just say, hey, go read this. So I go over what the assignment is, and down at the bottom of the assignment, they have this spot that they can upload a file to. So they upload their file or put it in, they have two options on this one. They can either upload a file or put a Google document in. So they can do it
Okay.
either way if they want to do it on Google.
Do you typically like give them a specific like nomenclature for their file so you know?
No, because I don't have to. Because, well, I can't.
So you know whose
Because
file it is.
I don't. When I see, there's no students in Moodle yet in the classes. But
Okay.
if there were, I would see all their names with the
Yeah,
link to
yeah.
their file right beside their name. They can save it with whatever they want to. I don't care because it says
Okay, awesome.
Scott Curry. There's his file link. Brian Poole. There's the file link. I don't have
For
to
that particular assignment.
for that particular assignment.
Okay.
So, and then they just re-upload the current one. I make them upload it at the end of every single period so that I see progress. And if they don't upload it, they actually lose points in the project because I'll assume they didn't do any work that day. So, anyway, so I will be able. You know, I could show you an old one. Let me go there. Yeah, we got extra time today, so this is going to be last year. I think I just made it to you. I'm trying to remember what I archive the old Moodle every year so that if anybody contests a grade or something. I'm trying to remember what I need. If I was on my PC over there, it'd be a shortcut, so it wouldn't matter. this is my class, and that's why I don't have some of these shortcuts on. I won't be able to show you, but I could show you offline sometime, Scott.
Okay,
It
sure.
actually is really, really easy to keep them separated because Moodle does it for you. So you would see all the kids in your class, and on this page you would see their name when they submitted it, what their grade is, because it'll have a drop down that you grade it right there as well, and when it was last updated by them, and it'll even tell you if you have a due date how late they were on it, because you can say I accept late stuff. If you accept, which I do, and it'll say submitted 2 hours 15 minutes late, or 4 days 2 hours late, and I take off based on how late it was. But anyway, so it's really easy to be paperless with Moodle. Allows you to upload everything there. If I could show you last year's class, it would make more sense. So anyways, that's Moodle. There's tons of stuff I could show you, but they're really, people get overwrought with how many options there are. It's pretty easy. If it's a resource, it's something to see. And if it's an activity, it's something for them to do. And you can kind of play with it. Anytime you go to one, if I say I want to do a, let's see, like a journal activity. If I go and say I want to journal, then all of them, if they're in red, it means that field is required. This, by the way, is as big as you want it. It just shows that small. And if I wanted to make it full screen, I can make it full screen. That's where I put the explanation of the assignment in. And then it's just how much the grade, how much is it worth, and where do you want to put it? Like I have different categories for my grade book that I can put it into. And it doesn't, if you add something and like, it's a mistake, I want to delete it, it doesn't hurt anything. And the little icons here, that little square is if, I'm not even going to try to do it on there. If I wanted to move it around on my page, that's what that little square is for. If I didn't like where this was and I wanted it down here, I can just drag it down there. The eyeball is whether the students can see it or not. So I can have stuff ready way ahead of time and then poke it in the eye and they can't see it. And then the little hand is to edit it again if I wanted to edit it. And the X is to delete it. So. Yeah.
Can you show, I don't know, like it probably doesn't have grades yet, but can you just show us what the grade book looks
Well,
like?
that's why I really need to go to the archived one. If I go, now I will tell you that elementary school doesn't use the grade book. Okay, because they don't do grades, they do indicators. So fifth, what grade are you? Oh, you're fifth, I'm sorry, I was thinking you're, okay, so yeah. The grade book is actually right there. In mine, this is everything that was in my grade book as of fourth quarter. I haven't reset it for first quarter. So they could see what their final exam was and their second semester exam, and these are all the things that would have grades, and all the names would be here. And if I want to change it, I just turn editing on, and then it gives me the ability to type in numbers. Otherwise, I'm just looking at what they got. The gradebook is probably the most confusing part of Moodle to a lot of people because it is so flexible. In that I can have, I'll show you mine, and it's going to look crazy. So here's the class is hardware. Inside hardware, I have a category called second semester exam, which is worth 0, because I only have it there so they can see what the grade is. It isn't part of their quarter grade, okay? And then I have a category, a grouping called fourth quarter, and inside fourth quarter, I have a formative set of assignments that are worth 10% of their class. So we'll average all these together and give them 10% of their grade as that. And then I have a summative set of assignments that is worth the other 90% of their class, and that equals up to the fourth quarter average of 100 points. And inside that I even have more because this test is traditionally really hard. My Chapter 7 test is really ugly. So there's a Chapter 7 test category which has 3 tests in it, and if they want to retake it, they always keep their highest 2, and it drops the lowest 1 if they retake the test. So there's a part 1 and a part 2, and then a retake, and it will automatically, because I have it set up that way, drop the lowest 1. So you can do things like that where I know like my kids in pre-calculus do ACT tests every week in their pre-calc class. And the deal is that at the end of the quarter, the 10 highest grades are the ones that count. So you can just have a category called Practice ACT, and you can tell the category only count the 10 highest. So as they go on, all of them count, and then as soon as they get to number 11, whichever one's the lowest dropped out. And then when they get to number, so it's very, very, very flexible, but can be confusing. It's always right. It's always right. I have teachers come down and say, Moodle screwed up my grades. No, Moodle didn't. You screwed up your grades because you didn't put it in right. Because it's just math. It's going to do the math however you told it to do it. So if you told it wrong, it's going to come up with the wrong number. So that's just like if you look down through here and look at my categories, now when I get down to first quarter, my first quarter is hidden so it doesn't calculate. But if I left it unhidden, that 100% would be weighed against fourth quarter, and then all of a sudden the fourth quarter grade would actually be an average of first and fourth. So you have to be careful. And I would always recommend, especially for new teachers, hey, does this look okay? That's what Tuesdays are for. Is this figuring out what I think it's figuring out? Or just print one out and do it and see if it makes mathematical sense or not. Because it's easy to get it wrong. Once you get used to it, I don't think so. But anything you put in, by the way, in Moodle with a date automatically shows up in your calendar. And when students log in, they have a page just like this, and all their calendar stuff is put together. So if you gave them assignments, and he gave them assignments, and he gave them assignments, they look over here, and they're all on the calendar. And over here on this side, which doesn't affect me because I'm a teacher like you guys are, but it would have the next 10 homework assignments listed on the side for them. So if you don't put in a date, it kind of hurts you because then your students never even see that something's due. And all of a sudden they go, what? I didn't know something was due because you didn't put a date in. And it's easy. It's just a drop-down field to put in the date. Also, when students log on, they see their grades. It would say computer hardware, parentheses, 92%. So this page shows all the aggregated grades of every class, and it also shows attendance data up top. It doesn't show attendance data if you've never missed school. So if you're like, hey, why isn't there any attendance data? Because they're good and they made it all the time. But it will color code them red and yellow if they start missing a lot of school as a, hello, you need to make it to class. That's how we learn here, okay? So that was part of actually a district goal a few years ago, is to help increase attendance, and one of the ways we thought of doing it was to make it obvious to the students. It says how many days they've been late and how many days they've been absent and their overall attendance rate, but it doesn't show that unless they have an attendance problem. So, okay, so well, let's get back to, so that's Moodle, and that's a really basic introduction. Like I said, there's tons of videos on the YouTube site. It cannot hurt if you play with it. If you're like, I don't understand how to set it up, you can, in the YouTube, on NTLS Tech, if you type Moodle and the word setup, you're going to get a video on how to set up your Moodle class. So here's some screen capture. That's what Moodle looks like. This is what a student sees. He's missed school, so it shows his attendance. He hasn't missed enough yet that it shows the days late and days tardy, and he's not color-coded yet to yellow or red. If he goes above 85 or below 85%, it turns red. I can't remember what the color was for yellow. The idea was that all you have to do is be here. As soon as you turn red, if you're here every single day, eventually it will go away. And then they see what their grade is, and they would be able to click right on their class to go right into that class and have only the student view of it. And that's just a picture of my hardware class, which we've already gone to. This is typical elementary school class. Many of the elementary school teachers, and I know this only affects you then, they just put their indicator tracking stuff for the quarter on there, but there's way more that you could do. Especially if you tell your parents, hey, I'm going to be posting this on Moodle, or I'm going to be posting this on Moodle. One of the things that you will be setting up, and you see it up on top of mine, is E-Days. We participate in E-Days, which means that after we've missed 5 days of school due to snow, the next day is an E-Day that they'll have to accomplish online. They do have 2 weeks to get it done after that day, but I give my kids bonus points in the class if they get it done the day it's due. We can't take off for them not doing it that day. but we can certainly give points for having them do it in a timely manner. Because what happens is kids will eventually get it counted as absent, and then they'll start doing, we do detentions for not doing your E-Day. So then they're sitting in here in detention doing E-Days last year with me a couple of those days, and I hate that. So anyway, so you will use it for that, and usually those E-Days are made together, by the way. So all the, what grade are you doing? Okay, so all the 4th grade teachers usually work together on their E-Days so that the 4th grade E-Days are the same. There's one E-Day site for 4th grade, and if you teach science, so you would be doing you'd make the science E-Days for all of 4th grade, somebody else does the English days. So actually, they have the easiest time because you guys collaborate more than everybody else can. So, okay, and I already said this, Moodle resources are things to see, activities are things to do. The next thing is our email. We have 2 separate email systems. We have First Class and Gmail, and that's confusing, and that's why I'd like to get rid of one of them, okay? We've had First Class for a long time, and there's some people that are just clawing to hold on to it, and we're paying for it, whereas Gmail's free, and there's nothing that First Class does that Gmail doesn't. I'm biased towards Gmail. First Class can't save your password. You have to type it in every time. The mobile application, there is a mobile application for First Class for an iPhone, but because it can't save your password, it can't push you email, so then you have to go and log in and check all the time. But First Class is used primarily by the elementary school. High school, you will not use First Class at all. I've not logged on First Class in 2 years, okay? Everything that we post is posted so that you get the email personally in Gmail, okay? But First Class is primary in the elementary school, and the middle school is kind of some one way and some the other way, okay? So it's most likely going to be retired. I'm going to be pushing to retire it after this year.
On what Mr. Fisher talked to us this morning, he said about forwarding this First Class email address to our Gmail account.
Right, and I'm gonna show you that, but that's what I said down here. Both can be forwarded to the other one. So whichever one you consider primary, go to your secondary one and have it forwarded. So if you send something to my First Class account, it goes monk and comes up in Gmail. Okay? Because I don't send to First Class. Because all your NWEA stuff is based on, when you do map testing, it's based on your Gmail password or your Gmail account. So any NWEA stuff is going to come to Gmail. Your logon is going to be bpool@nationaltrail.us for all map stuff. So if you don't have it forwarded and you say, can you reset my password? I'll reset your password. It'll get sent to your Gmail and you'll go, I still don't have my password reset. Okay? So whichever one you use, you want to have it sent to the other one. Okay? There are videos. If you Google First Class, NTLS Tech, YouTube, one of the top videos is going to be how to forward from First Class to Gmail, and the next one's going to say how to forward from Gmail to First Class. Don't do both. I had teachers do that last year, and it was playing tags, forward, 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 forward. And the thing is, Gmail was smart enough not to forward it twice, but First Class was not. So it was like going bunk, bunk, bunk. And so I go, why do I have so many in this? It's like, well, okay, so choose which one you're going to check and forward that one, okay? If you're in the elementary school, you're still probably going to have to go into First Class to check the news, and I'll show you kind of what I'm talking about. I think I have a capture of it. So, username at nationaltrail.us is your Gmail password, and I always have it Blazer in your initials, and then it's going to force you to do a password change. So, at nationaltrail.us, I can't just put in bpool in order to get in there. And just so you know, while we're talking about Gmail, you have a full Google Apps account, a school YouTube account, all your regular Google stuff. So all my school stuff gets posted to my school YouTube account, not to my, well, depends on which. All my class stuff gets posted to my school YouTube account. My PD stuff gets posted to NTLS Tech, which is actually my personal one, just to keep them separate because you don't want to see my class stuff. Okay. Google Apps is a great tool. It's great. Does a lot of good things. In the past, we've really kind of pushed it because students may not have Office at home. In the high school, they're all getting one of these this year, so they're all going to have Office at home. So that they have everything. Every student's getting one of these, which is why it's a laptop lab right now. And I'm not going to go too far into Gmail. The first class icon looks like that on your desktop. When you go into first class, it's not going to work. Okay? First class does not work the first time you log on to it for anyone. Okay? So I'm going to show you how to fix it. It's also a video on YouTube on how to fix it. So the reason it doesn't work is because first class, which is one of the reasons I don't like it, but there's no way for me to script the server, and you have to tell it what first class server you're going to. So you'll see that blank when you come onto it. You have to hit the advanced button and then hit the setup button and then type in the name of our server, which is dark.k12.oh.us. Then you hit save, and then you'll see it down here and you'll be able to put in your bpool the first time. Change your password. Okay? Actually, I think it's forced down. But I had teachers who for years would just leave it at bpool. And if you think there's no student out there that will log on and try your account, you're stupid. They will. Okay? I'm in the Air Force, in the Air Force Reserves. It was a game for us. If you walked away from your computer for 1 second, I would be on there, send an Outlook message to somebody else with something in it that's inappropriate, because that's how we got each other. Now we don't do it so much because it's a more politically correct Air Force than it used to be, but it used to be bad. So anyway, after you get the server name in there, you can use your username and password, and you get into first class. My first class is very busy because I'm a member of every single group. Yours will just have a mailbox, and the reason it says 999 plus is because everything is forwarded, but it still sits there. So every once in a while I have to go there and delete everything. The reason I said in elementary school, even if you use Gmail as your primary, you're still going to want to go to the elementary school news to read anything they post on the news. In the high school, we don't post to this. We post to NTLS_staff. It also goes there by default, but it means you'll get a personal email that is something from Bob. So if you've got your stuff recently and like all the agenda stuff from Monday from Bob, it's because he sent it to NTLS or NTHS staff. Yeah, it's in there. For the few holdouts that don't want to go to Gmail, it automatically goes there. But it doesn't do the opposite. If somebody posts something here, it doesn't go to Gmail. So that's why I said you still kind of have to look there. I think the middle school is doing it to NTMS staff now, so you don't have to go here to find postings. You do still have to go here for district stuff. So if there's a district notice that Mr. Parker put out about the in-servers or something. So every once in a while, you might want to come in and look at these news. Okay? Now, Gmail's going to force you to do a password change. If you've already set up your password in here, it's really easy to change your password in here. You go to collaborate, and then it says change password. And then you'll get the little pop-up, put in your old password, put in your new password. So that's what first class looks like. And the first class email address is, in my case, brian_pool@nationaltrail.k12.oh.us. So I think that's a mouthful, and that's why I like just using the nationaltrail.us. It's easier to tell people. So your email address will be first name _ last name for first class @nationaltrail.k12.oh.us. And that depends on what Susan Hora put in for you. Okay? If she abbreviated Catherine to Kate, and it's Kate. If she didn't, it's Catherine. So you kind of have to know what she put in for you when she put you in. Okay? And it cannot save any passwords. So there's a little button that says save password. It doesn't work. It won't be there. So you can hit that save password all you want to. It just won't do it. Okay, so I already said this. I recommend making them all the same. They should be complex and easier for you to remember. I have staff members that I reset their passwords so many times it becomes a joke that I can't believe you can't remember your password. Don't be the person who asks me to reset the password 4 times in 1 month. I don't understand. Okay, so what I recommend is something you easily remember that people can't Google on you. Okay. Don't use your kids' names or your husband's name. Those are bad, or your wife's name. Okay, those are bad names to use. Okay, but your grandfather's middle name, nobody's going to know that. Your mother's maiden name, no one's going to know that. And add a couple of numbers on the end. Okay, that's what I recommend. You may have a complex password that you use from childhood. That's great. Okay, but a picture of a cat with the cat's name right there is not an acceptable password. You're laughing, but I had a teacher cry one time. She didn't work here anymore. I felt really bad because I go, okay, we need to reset your password or something. And I was like, okay, put in your old password, your new password. And, you know, it said Muffy or something right above on her monitor, picture of a cat. I said, now it can't be Muffy. Ah! You know, and so she goes, redoes it to something else, and then it became this. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I said, okay, it can't be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I said, if it's all in a row, any kid in this room will know your password within a week. It's just not that hard to tell when you do this right across the keyboard. I said, and then I said the same thing. Grandfather's middle name, mother's maiden name, anything that you know, but it can't be something you can see from this seat. Can't be a word you can see while we're sitting here. Any other word. She started crying. I felt all bad. I didn't think, I wasn't raising my voice or anything, but we had reset it like 3 times at this point. I guess I upset her. So something you can remember, but if you think kids aren't going to try, they are. I was that kid in high school, okay, that would have been sitting at home if we had the internet then, trying to hack into your password. I would have. I was sneaky. You know, that's who I was when I was a kid. That's why I got into special ops, because that was my personality. So something that they can't guess, because especially if you have them all the same, and they can get into Moodle and change your grades, the last thing you want to do is be like, I'm sure she had a B. I don't remember giving it an A, but must be right, you know, or even more tragic than that. You want it to be something that can easily be guessed. Okay? Questions so far? I should have stopped and asked that. We're going to actually log on to these systems here in a minute. So the last one is Dazzle. There should be a link on any PC desktop, teacher PC, not these. These are student PCs. Okay? Dazzle has the NTHS_BP and a separate password that Susan gave you that when we reset it, we can't even reset the password. It just emails you a new link or a new password to you, and then you can set it. It's where elementary school teachers put in lunch counts, where every teacher put in its attendance, where we put in grades. Now, when I say that, for everybody in Dazzle, grades are automatically uploaded in the middle school every quarter. In the high school, first, second, and third quarter, they're not automatically loaded in the year because people are graduating and stuff. We want teachers to manually put them in there. But it's where you can check your grades and put in comments and stuff on people. And then you can check contact information for students there as well, which is also in Moodle if you're trying to call a kid at home. This is what it looks like when you log on to Dazzle. The first thing you have to do is change. This is a drop down. You have to change it so it says dsl.swoka.net. You put in your username and you put in your password. You hit sign in. Once you've done that, it remembers this, but it doesn't remember this stuff ever. So you have to type that in every single time. This is what Dazzle looks like. It'll look a little different for you than it does for me, but this is the basic look of it. But if you want to change your password, all you do is go down to the drop down to My Account, and then one of the buttons says Change Password, and allow you to put in your old and your new password. Okay? Those are the basic accounts. Before I go to anything else, why don't we try to get logged onto our laptops, make sure that we can get into Moodle, and make sure we can get into first class. So I can help you guys get the basic stuff. I can't make a first class account for you, but I certainly can fix Moodle, log on. Everybody's logged on. So if anybody's Gmail doesn't work, I can reset passwords for that. I set them all up today, so they should all work. If you've already been in it, I did not reset your passwords, so you should be able to get into those as well. If anybody's mouse doesn't work, let me know, and I'll grab another mouse. We actually didn't test all these out, so it's possible that some of them don't work. Oh, when it comes to browsers, we're Firefox District. If you use Internet Explorer, please take that home with you. Use Internet Explorer all you want to at home. Internet Explorer is the den of all evil. It's how you get viruses and malware and all kinds of bad stuff in your PC. It also doesn't work well with Moodle. So if you want to use that, but you're not going to be able to do any grade cards, your Moodle page isn't going to look right on Internet Explorer. It's really set up for Firefox, which is set up to the...
Firefox is going to work pretty much the same on a Mac, too.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
What about Chrome? Or use that, or?
You can't use Chrome. Not everything works right in Chrome, but almost everything does. You would still not be able to do the elementary school report cards in Chrome. You have to do the elementary school too, but most stuff, Mike Birdsall's a huge Chrome user. I use both. I go back and forth. And I actually haven't had anything that doesn't work, but. So once you get logged on, you can just type moodle.nationaltrail.us and try to make sure your account is there and you're logged on there. I think I set everybody up and you should have access to your Moodle pages. So if you log into it and you don't see a class that you know you're teaching, it would be good to tell me. And then you can open up another browser window if you want to and check, make sure you can get into Gmail as well. First class is not on these laptops, so you won't be able to check the class here.
If we have, like say for the FFA, could we have a special class somehow for like just the FFA part of it, if the students wanted to, like.
That would be on the website. FFA is an organization that would be on the www.nationaltrail. And yes, there is one.
Okay.
There used to be a really, really good one. It's all dependent on what students the instructor had previously, because he was not super techie, but if he had a super techie kid, he'd put them in charge of the website.
Right.
So I couldn't tell you what it looks like right now or not, but there is
Would that be a separate login than I use?
no. You just go to www.nationaltrail.us and it's the same login. It'll still be.
Okay.
Where do you see your class list?
Okay, so you don't have any. It'll be right there in the middle.
So you want us to log into ours then, once we get to that?
Yeah, just to make sure that you can see it. I'm going to go and fix Ross here. The actual setup of all the classes is manual, so if I didn't get around to adding you to the classes, so let's see, music. Yeah, there's no instructor on any of them, are there? So.
I mean, I can just hang out all day.
I will tell you that you'll have to log out and log back in before you see it, but wait a second because I don't have it down here. So.
It's really small print.
You can change that if you want to larger.
Just Control plus, right?
Just right. You want to change the screen resolution, or you can do that. You can do it that way too.
And then I have like the dark spots.
Okay, let me finish with Ross, and then I'll get yours. And just so you know, and this is for a yearly thing, I have no way of knowing what people teach. And if they didn't tell me, I don't know who to put in to anything. Yours, Ross, the way they've done it in the past, the way it's set up right now is that there's just, although you see all these different band classes here, the only one students see is they all get enrolled in one high school band class, even though they're taking band. So all you really have to do is edit high school band, and that's the one that they see. Is there other music? Are you doing any guitar classes or
No,
anything?
guitar. I should have all the middle school bands too.
Well, I'm in a high school right now. Who does guitars?
That should be Judy. Julie did guitar last year, I think. I do general music. I do music appreciation in high school as well.
I need to change her account on Moodle to say Jordan, so she just changed her. Let's see, what other, are you the only one doing music appreciation now?
I believe so.
Change this one. Okay, so high school band, switch here to guitar, and music appreciation, and that, is that it? And then,
I believe so.
then I need to do the middle school.
It's all 6, 7, 8 band, and I do the 5th grade general music as well.
Pretty good, oh, okay. Need more preps. Sorry. I'm gonna show you this right now, Ross, just so you know. And this goes for all you guys. If I'm in the class and I see it where it says admin teacher, if I don't see that, I'm not the teacher, by the way. Or you're not logged on. So if you go to admin teacher, this is where the settings are for the class itself. And in order for the students to be brought into your class, this course ID number has to be right. And there's a course ID number that's 4 numbers that's straight in Dazzle. And then the last 2 has to be uppercase your initials. So you're going to need to look at all those classes that I just changed. Because right now, if I don't change this to RR and hit save at the bottom, then no students will show up in your class. Because it goes and says who's teaching this class, and if they don't mesh, it just ignores it. So, and that's where you change the overall look of the classes as well.
Am I good to log back on now? Or?
Yeah, if you log in now, you should be good. And what are you missing? Is anybody else missing? You said you're missing something.
Language art. The other fifth grade listed as, because we all teach language arts. One.
So whose would you have just, what, so it'd be 5th grade, is it 5th grade?
Mm-hmm. We all teach.
I'm trying to think, oh, okay, I see. I think it would be this one. I'm gonna reassign Mr. Westfall's to you because I think everybody else already had one.
No, it's Valerie Papa.
Oh, yeah, sorry. And if you don't want to, I'm assuming from the start that you want to edit based on what the previous person had. If you don't want to, and you want me to just totally delete, is it Miss or Mrs.? You want me to completely delete the previous person's class? I can. The other option is that I think I did this for Eric, that I made copies of the class. So you could still see what they had, but start off with a whole blank one yourself. That's fine. All you have to do is email me and let me know that that's what you want me to do.
Okay.
I don't know whether it's easier as a starting teacher to just have a basic class to start off with or not. So if you log off and log back on, it should
It's
be
working
there.
pretty good, like you set it up for me, because then that way I can create my own stuff, and then I still have the resources from Mr. Swan at the bottom of the
Okay.
So it's like on there to see, I would only see it, or like a paper
Yeah,
copy?
if we did that, if I made you a new class, I would just poke the old class in the eye. Nobody would even see that class other than you.
Like these are the classes my current Lindsay has, and then
You see how they're grayed out down below.
So
He
I
sees
can-
them because
I
he's
can
a
still
teacher.
click on them.
And so he can see the old stuff, but it doesn't really,
Okay.
nobody else sees it. And if you want me to do that, I'd be more than happy to do that.
So what should happen when I change them to RR?
When school starts, it'll automatically import the students. It won't do anything today. On the day that school starts, they start exporting the class list, and then at 11:45 at night, everybody that's in your class automatically gets imported into your class. You'll see everybody, they're divided into groups, so that you'll see Orange 1 as a group and Orange 2 as a group.
And also, I have one question about, just real quick, about the high school class, high school band here. It said, it's got this as the ID.
Yeah, just leave that in the way it is.
That's fine.
Yeah, because really they're not in high school band, they're in band 1 or band 2.
So I have to change this.
Yes, you have to change those for them to show up and then. Gotcha.
What did you say about logging in for the support the first time? Was there a
It
special?
should just be your email address and then your school password. Whatever your password is that you log on to the PC with. Try just your username. It says email now.
So I was trying to.
No, it should have. Just try your username. See what I'm just kind of curious to see what it does. And maybe it's because it's not really taking you to the. Let me try something. Because it's really the icon on your desktop takes you to the help desk. Maybe it shows. There we go.
Oh,
It's
oh.
just now it's just your username and your password. So I'm corrected. It's support.control.us/helpdesk to be able to use that. Sorry. And the icon on the desktop works, so I know it takes you to the right place. So now that was a lot of stuff, and it was really basic intro just to make sure you can get on to your things. I wanted to take a couple minutes over next door. Everybody I guess that's the next slide. Everybody here. Everybody here has a digital whiteboard and a projector. In general, very few of the classrooms have smart boards. Some of them do. The smart boards are 5 times the cost of the Mimeo boards. And when I first got here, this was the only smart board in the school, and they had some title money to buy some more smart boards, which is where the other 6 smart boards came from. I have a very limited budget, and when I learned about Mimeo boards, I went Mimeo instead. Okay? Everyone should have a projector. Everyone should have a digital whiteboard. All the high school classrooms have digital mics mounted in the ceiling up there that you can use to record the audio like we're doing right now, the classroom. If there's not one mounted, it means there's one in the room somewhere that looks like that.
Different from the other one because it's just like a strip mounted. over
That's the Mimeo
whiteboard.
board, and that's where we're going to go next door, and I'm going to show you the
Okay.
difference between the Mimeo board. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. We'll walk over there for 2 minutes just to kind of show you the Mimeo board and exactly what that is. Because I wanted you to have an idea of what you've got in your room.